start again. It's a redskin.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another episode. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got another episode of Chicago Bulls Weekly for you guys today, where we look at the previous results for the Chicago Bulls and also talk about the awards given throughout the week, the must improve, Sixth Man of the Week, Player of the Week, and we also take a deep dive into the very busy upcoming week for the Chicago Bulls, and it all starts in a couple of hours, and we're going to see Bulls basketball back again, and not only we're going to see Bulls basketball back, we're going to see the full team back and ready to go for the most part. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls previous week. How happy are you with this previous week? And also what you're looking forward to in the upcoming week. Obviously, the main answer will be the whole team back, but obviously in terms of wins and losses, what are the opportunities there for the Bulls to go out and perform in? It's going to be a fantastic time for the Bulls, and again, I'm just really excited to see the whole team back and ready to go. This previous week for the Chicago Bulls, let's quickly talk about it because there's a lot of things that happened throughout that week. We ended up going 2-0 that week. We did have a third game against the Toronto Raptors that did get postponed. So we do have 2 games against the Raptors that we need to look forward to. But nevertheless, a very promising week and an undefeated week for the Chicago Bulls. And it's always a great sign. It wasn't the busiest of weeks. It was definitely a week full of controversy, a week full of question marks, a week full of unpredictability. But thankfully, that week, we walked in and we came out on top, and that is a great sight to see, and I'm very happy that the Bulls went undefeated. And again, against 2 West teams off of a back-to-back, the importance of this is that as good or as bad as these teams are performing, again, we beat the Lakers 115-110. That was a really big game for the Chicago Bulls. The Lakers, obviously, without Anthony Davis, without a lot of their guys, and also the Bulls being short-staffed. This was a close competitive game throughout the whole entirety of it. It was back and forth. LeBron had a very strong third quarter. DeMar DeRozan took over in the fourth quarter. And again, the battle of 2 good teams, we walked away with the win. And we should win against the Lakers at home at the United Center. I don't care if both teams are fully healthy. With the caliber of these 2 teams at their best, at home, the Chicago Bulls should win that game. So when both teams are short-staffed, I still believe the Bulls should have won that game, and I'm very happy that we did. And it's always a great feeling beating the Los Angeles Lakers, and it does feel great knowing that we've beat them twice this season, which is great to see in my opinion. It's not something you see every year, so it's a good year in that retrospect. And then beating the Rockets 133-118, we dominated this game. The score is very, very kind for the Houston Rockets. We were up for this game majority of the time by 20 or more points. They did have a good surge in the third quarter, but Lonzo Ball was fantastic in making sure that they did not come any closer to what they did. So a really positive game all the way around. We got massive bench production, over 60 points off of the bench. A great game against the Houston Rockets, one of the best of the season. But the importance of these 2 games is that they're very unpredictable because as good or bad as West teams are at the moment, that we don't verse them very often. So to be able to verse these 2 teams at home and beat these 2 teams at home, it's good for the Chicago Bulls. I'm not going to go over the top and say it's amazing, it's the best feeling in the world, but it's a very good thing for the Bulls to do, especially without Zach LaVine and especially without Io, Troy Brown Jr., players like that. It's really good for the Bulls to pick up 2 victories. Now let's look at the awards for the Chicago Bulls. Looking at the must improve, to be honest, this is a very hard one to give, and I do feel a bit guilty for giving one this week, but I will do it because I've done many weeks now with no must improve, and I do feel like I need to pick up the pace in that area. I'm going to pick Tony Bradley, and the reason why is that he has a lot of responsibility at the moment as the backup center. Against the Rockets, I thought he was great. Against the Lakers, I thought he was okay. He had 3 steals, I believe, against the Lakers as well. He wasn't bad in any of those games. But for a backup center, I think he needs a little bit more responsibility in terms of trying to get more stats up for the Chicago Bulls, trying to get more rebounds, trying to be more ready for catching the ball in certain areas. I still think he struggles in those types of things, being ready to catch the ball, being ready to shoot when it's presented to him. Very few and far between do you see games with Tony Bradley as a center, as a 7-foot center, where the majority of the league is playing a little bit smaller these days, to take advantage of his height. So that's the thing that I have to pick on with Tony Bradley. But I don't think he was bad this week. Just because he gets a must improve does not mean he was bad. I don't think he was bad this week. But there are certain instances there where he has to take advantage of his height. And more often than not, he doesn't do it. He does great on the rebounding in terms of tipping the ball out. He doesn't always grab the rebound, but he does work very hard, and he is someone that has had a good game against the Rockets. It's time to pick it up and try to be more consistent, because if he could be a really good backup center for this team, provide the stats, provide the impact, provide the runs, all of that situation, we are in a very good position with the center position. We are in a very good position in terms of the big man of this team. If we can get Vooch and Tony Bradley both playing very well and very strong basketball. The sixth man of the week you could probably give to a lot of these players, but for me, I'm going to pick Kobe White, because I thought, again, looking at the Lakers game, the bench was non-existent. No one really had a good game against the Lakers off of that bench. Kobe White struggled, McKinney struggled, Tony Bradley struggled. I believe those were the only three players that played that game. But against the Houston Rockets, everybody had a great game. Tony Bradley had a great game. Kobe White had a great game. Alfonso McKinney had a great game. Devon Dotson had a great game. Everybody you could think of on that team had a great game. But in terms of who had the best game, I can honestly say it's either Alfonso McKinney or Kobe White. And I would say Kobe White had the best game. I thought his second half was truly outstanding. I thought he really helped the Chicago Bulls secure a big lead, make sure things didn't get out of hand. And same with Lonzo, but he's obviously not a sixth man for the team. And I thought Kobe White stepped up when Alex Caruso was kind of not playing. He did leave the game. Kobe White stepped up, and Kobe White performed big time for the Chicago Bulls. And it's all about that consistency. I do want to see what Kobe White does against the Indiana Pacers, because that's always a team that he struggled to play against. TJ McConnell is definitely a player that likes to stick it to Kobe White in many ways. It seems like they have a personal rivalry of somewhat between the two players, and that's something that's going to be very interesting if we can see over time if Kobe White can have a strong game and show that he's a good quality bench player that we really need on the team. This is a good opportunity for him with a very busy week ahead of us to see what he can do. We have many games this week, so we have an opportunity for Kobe White to finally get a rhythm of things, because he has been stop and start for the majority of the season. And the player of the week is a very simple one for me. It's DeMar DeRozan. Lonzo Ball is the only person I could put in this category alongside with DeMar, but I thought DeMar's game against the LA Lakers was truly unbelievable. Honestly, unbelievable performance from DeMar DeRozan. And again, I'm very happy that he's back, because I think without DeMar DeRozan, we don't win any of these two games, to be honest. Maybe the Rockets game. I don't think we win the Lakers game. DeMar was amazing in that Lakers game, and he was very, very good against the Houston Rockets as well. It's a very simple one for this week, at least. He is my player of the week. And it's been a normal thing for DeMar DeRozan. It's been a normal, consistent thing for this player. And again, with the All-Star games coming closer and closer, I think there's a conversation for him to be a starter in that game. We'll see what happens. Obviously, I personally believe Zach and DeMar should be both starting. But again, I don't know if the rest of the league will see that as the same. But we'll see what happens during that time. But DeMar's making a really strong case for himself. Looking at the next week for the Chicago Bulls, keep in mind, games can get postponed. Games can get delayed. Games can not be played. So this is not the finalization of what's going to happen in this upcoming week. And of course, when games get delayed, when games get postponed, we'll talk about it more in depth, I guess, when it comes to that time. But at this point in time, we have a lot of games. I believe we have 5 games for the Chicago Bulls this week. So without further ado, let's get started. The first game is going to be against the Indiana Pacers at the United Center. A very, very, very good game, in my opinion, to have. A game where last time we versed them, we ended up getting absolutely destroyed against the Indiana Pacers. And the reason why I say this is a good game is this gives us an opportunity. We have been well rested for quite a number of days. We have a whole roster back. We should go and try to get some revenge on the Indiana Pacers. They're a rivalry of old from before, and obviously they still have a good way of playing against the Chicago Bulls. They still have great size advantage over the Chicago Bulls, and they use that to their effect in the last game against us. We have to go out and we have to perform very well, and we need to make sure we can get that revenge over the Indiana Pacers. Let's wait and see if we can do that. But I really want to win this game. There's obviously something personal on the end of this game as well, because the last thing that you want to see is your team get blown out by another team. So when that does happen, you get an opportunity to verse them again. You obviously want your team to perform better. I'm really looking forward to this game, and hopefully this game will kick off a very positive week. Then we have a back-to-back against the Atlanta Hawks away from home. A back-to-back when the Bulls are traveling, so it's going to be a hard game, this Atlanta Hawks game, but it's still one I feel fairly confident in. I believe a lot of the Hawks players are out for health and safety protocols. Hopefully that doesn't get any worse for them, but we'll have to wait and see. It's still going to be a tough game, but I really feel like the Chicago Bulls do have an opportunity to go out and win this game. But nevertheless, if we do lose this game, we will verse the Atlanta Hawks right after that at the United Center. So we've got 2 games against the Atlanta Hawks. These are the types of games where it's very hard to beat them twice in a row. But if we could do that, that means that we are very strong against the Atlanta Hawks. They're going to have time to study us. We're going to have time to study them, see what they're all about. They're going to see what we're all about. And then the second game should be very interesting against the Atlanta Hawks. The winner of the first game, it might be, okay, we haven't versed them yet. There might be some things we need to adjust with. But the second game should be where both teams perform at their best against each other. And we'll wait and see if that's going to end up being the case. The next game is going to be against the Indiana Pacers again. This is away from home, ladies and gentlemen. So again, 2 games against the Pacers, 2 games against the Hawks. It's going to be a very repetitive week, I should say the least, but it's a very busy week. And I really do miss this when the Chicago Bulls have busy weeks. This game is going to be at 7 a.m. for me. Very, very poor timing, but nevertheless, we will move on, and I'll definitely be able to watch that game. And then the last game is going to be a back-to-back against the Washington Wizards away from home. Again, these games are very important, and they're winnable games. All of these games here are winnable. I'm not going to say we're going to go 5-0. I'd be amazed if we do, and I'll be very happy, and honestly, that'd be fantastic. But there are some winnable games here, ladies and gentlemen. We are in a stretch of time through late December and early January where we have a couple of games there that you think the Bulls are favourites in. And we have to go out and show why we are the favourites in this stretch. If we have a very good stretch of games, I'm only going to be positive going into the next week. Because at the end of the day, we should be winning most of these games, and I'll be very happy if we could do that. That's all I'm going to say, and good luck to the Chicago Bulls. Hopefully they can pull out some very strong victories. And that's the Bulls Weekly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the upcoming week. Give your prediction. We have 5 games. What's our record going to be in these 5-game stretch? Because we went undefeated last week. Maybe we could get this as a conversation starter for the comment section. This upcoming week, what do you think our record's going to be with 5 games played? Are we going to go 4-1, 3-2? Are we going to go on a negative stretch? Maybe go 2-3? Things like that. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts. I'm very intrigued to see. My prediction is we're going to go 3-2. I do think that, again, when we're versing repetitive games, where we've got the Pacers twice, the Hawks twice, it's very hard to beat those teams 2 times in a row. Philly did do that against us. We've done that against a couple teams as well. So maybe there's an opportunity there. I'm thinking 3-2 or 4-1. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Have a wonderful and safe day, Bulls Nation. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.